Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to you all. I welcome you all for DRDO's webinar on role of industry in Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat means self-reliant India. I am now introducing today's speaker, Dr. G. Satish Reddy, who is Secretary Defense R&D and Chairman Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. He is an accomplished defense scientist, a visionary, and a technology leader who has led R&D in the area of many defense technologies, such as missiles, aerospace, naval systems, armaments, materials, electronics, communication, and so on. He himself is a systems engineer with a great insight and experience in inertial navigation, control, and guidance. His leadership has further synergized the joint effort among academia, industry, stakeholders, the users, and scientific institutions for self-reliant India, the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Among many successes under his stewardship, he has been the driving force behind the success of anti-satellite missile, Shakti mission, hypersonic missile, air-to-surface anti-radiation missile, Rudram, light combat aircraft, Tejas, high-performance radars, sonars, and so on. Dr. Reddy has acclaimed as one of the best aerospace scientists of India. He has been conferred honorary degree of Doctor of Science by many leading institutions. He is the first Indian who has been conferred with prestigious honorary fellowship and silver medal by Royal Aeronautical Society, London. He has been conferred with numerous awards, including IAA Missiles System Award, USA, IEI IEEE Award, USA, Homi J. Bhabha Gold Medal for Engineering Excellence. He is a person with pleasing personality, immense intellect, and die-hard spirit. His resolve and determination were also evident during outbreak of COVID-19 too, wherein more than 100 counter-COVID technologies were developed on war footing by DRDO within 1 to 3 months span. Under his guidance and leadership, he is a technology leader to make India self-reliant, Atmanirbhar in the area of defense technology and systems. Now I request Dr. Reddy to deliver his address. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mayank. Very good evening to everyone who is present in this webinar. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to interact with you on this very important topic of role of industry in Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's a very relevant topic in the today's scenario in the country today. First, when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is, as Mr. Mayank said, it is self-reliant India. What does it mean actually when we say self-reliant India? Meaning you should have the capability to design a system, then develop the system, and then also you have the complete capability, infrastructure, machinery, skilled manpower, everything to produce that in the country. That means you should be able to design here, you should be able to develop here, and also you are able to produce that particular system in the country. That is what Atmanirbhar Bharat means. You have the capability. You are not dependent on someone for any of these things, and you are able to do everything in the country. That means you should have the complete knowledge base, and you should have the ecosystem and infrastructure, some of the test infrastructures, and the production capabilities with the required machinery and whatnot, along with the quality assurance agencies and the quality system which is present in the industry. This is what actually means an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then when we say here Atmanirbhar Bharat, then there are three major elements to play the important roles here. One is the academia, second is the R&D organizations, third is the industry. When we say here the three important elements, the roles of them when we look at it, the academia is responsible for the research, particularly some amount of basic research and also an applied research, which actually takes place in the academia. This is one thing important. because academia is the one which generates the knowledge. The R&D organizations which are there, primarily when we talk of defense here in the country, the DRDO, should be able to take or carry out some amount of applied research and then a translational research to come out with the prototypes. So that means you are an R&D research and development you need to carry out to come out with a prototype product. Then the industry is the one which actually takes this translational research to and then to develop the products, to produce the products in large numbers. This is the basic thing. So translation research, production is one of the important things what industry needs to do. Also, industry should have an in-house R&D to carry out the research in the niche areas. This is a very important thing. So if industry has that particular aspect in a particular subject, what they are working on, in that they should be able to carry out research, whether to come out with next generation product or improve the process and many other things they should be able to carry out, and also coming out with innovative products and innovative systems in that is also can be done by the industry. This is one level of thinking what can be there. So if these three elements are existing and which are complementing each other, working with synergy, then the Atmanirbhar Bharat can be achieved primarily. Now, when I talk of industry, let me a little bit talk about the background. When you look at about 30 years back, the industry primarily leaving aside DPSUs, the defense public sector units or other public sector units, were the ones who were producing and doing all this maximum. There are very minimal industries which were there in the private sector. There were very small number, and there must be some small industries which were actually doing build to a drawing. They are fabricators, they are manufacturers. So there is a design given, and then you are able to manufacture it and produce it, which we call it now as build to print. Whereas the public sector units like BDL or BEL or BEML or HAL and like organizations, they have been actually producing many things, and they have produced many systems and large systems also. Whether you talk about Su-30, Sukhoi 30 aircraft, or you are talking about the engines here, or many other systems related to that, or otherwise some other systems like missiles and all that, whatever Concours and things like that, missiles and other systems. These are primarily the systems which have been imported systems, and you have been producing them as licensed products and licensed production. That is what was happening primarily in the DPSUs. And then, of course, some of those systems which DRDO has developed or other things, or some amount of in-house development which was there in the DPSUs, and that's how the systems have been produced. Like some amount of in-house development, like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has started the development of the helicopters, and the helicopters were coming out of HAL. Leaving aside these licensed production items like whether it is Su-30 related engines or some other aircrafts and maintenance of the aircrafts and all that, or as I said, missiles or some of the other electronics related systems in Bharat Electronics Limited have been the primarily role of this. But then the ecosystem started building faster in the last about maybe 20 years. And particularly in the last 10 years or 7 years, it has picked up a lot. There have been many industries which have come into picture, and they were actually started graduating from build to print to build to specifications. There are many industries. They have become started supplying the systems, and they were able to absorb the knowledge from the R&D organizations, and they were able to produce these systems. Production also has gone up, and they were able to produce them, and they had some quality system also. The quality assurance agencies have been created, like many other agencies have expanded, whether it is Similac or you're talking about MSQA or SSQAG or other agencies also expanded. Lots of quality system also has come in. And so the industry and various industries have matured and have come to a big stage where they're able to take up the systems. So if you look at, meanwhile, there the indigenous research based systems also started rolling out, and the numbers have started coming in. That also actually made the industries really come up and flourish. And then there are assured quantities of orders also have come into picture, which actually industry looks for. When an industry is established, primarily what industry looks for? Industry looks for some sustained orders or assured orders, so that you will be able to invest into it, and then you will be able to produce them certifiably. So if these assured orders are there, generally industry will be able to invest. This is one thing. As I said, the system started rolling in, and orders also started coming to the industries. For example, when you look at it, the Akash missile system, the numbers have come from armed forces, army and air force, lots of orders. The Bharat Dynamics Limited, Bharat Electronics were the primary agencies. And so there have been lots of supply chain of this have been there. Now, if you look at it, if you take an Akash missile, which is being produced by Bharat Dynamics Limited, the industry has supplied 85% of the value of Bharat Dynamics Limited, Akash missile. And Bharat Dynamics Limited started integrating them and producing in large numbers, and had actually committed even a higher production rate also. That's because of the support. You imagine here now 85% of the value of the missile system coming from private industry, and then BDL is able to integrate. It's one of the excellent models. There is a design agency, there is a lead integrator, and there are lots of supply chain. Similarly, if you look at the AWC system which has been produced, there have been more than about 64 LRUs which have come from industry, which have been integrated in the AWC, where large orders and the systems are there with the armed forces now. And I think in the coming years, we'll be able to go for more AWC and AWACS systems which are going to come, which again will be taken. Then the major other thing is the LC, the light combat aircraft system, which has been produced in the country, developed in the country, where lots of industries, in the last 30 years, the aeronautics has come up in a big way in the country. There have been many research boards. There have been completely supporting the system. Various academic institutes have been supported, and their level has come up, brought up to the level of world-class organizations. And then there are many industries which have participated. And so a lot of work which has gone in the last about 20-25 years in the development of LCA. And then today it has culminated into large number of orders, whether it is IOC based systems or FOC based systems. And now today, the government, which has cleared 83 numbers of aircrafts to be produced in the country. It's the single largest ever order of the Air Force. And we all should be thankful to the government for clearing such 83 numbers of aircrafts at one go, which is a major boost to the aeronautics ecosystem in the country, whether it's industries or academia or an R&D organization, get a major boost here, and they flourish in a big way. And particularly that paves the way for development of advanced aircraft systems and next generation aircraft systems in the country, making sure that the country is completely self-reliant and has the capability to develop all these systems and come up with advanced systems. And whatever the technologies which are not there, we should be able to develop those systems. So with all this, There are many industries which have come up. Now there are about more than 2,000 industries which are there as tier 1 and tier 2 industries in the country. And there are more than about 10,000 tier 3 industries, which are component manufacturers, suppliers, and all that. So such a large industrial base has come in the country. As I said, many people are able to supply the systems. Many people are able to develop the systems also. And the capability has come up, and people have migrated from build to print to build to specifications, which is actually making today DRDO takes any product for development or R&D. The cycle of the R&D has improved a lot. We are able to commit even aircraft development in very fast time cycles today. That's because the maturity what has come in the ecosystem and particularly in the industry. That's the major important step what has happened in the last 20-25 years. Now, where do we have to move from here? See, the country today has to advance itself in a big way. You have to have become Atmanirbhar Bharat. Second, today we are one of the still largest importers of defense equipment and systems. From this, we should make majority of the systems, 80 to 90% of the systems have to be within the country. And then you should be able to export these systems in a big way to the world. This is what we need to achieve from this. If we have to do that, there are 2-3 things what are required, important things. One is industry should be able to work on the current technologies, should be able to develop those technologies, systems, and should be able to produce the systems, and should be able to get orders from the Indian Armed Forces and also from outside. Once this level of the industry has reached, the R&D organizations like DRDO should be able to concentrate on the advanced technologies, or next generation technologies, or future technologies, so that you are able to come out always with state-of-the-art product, state-of-the-art system, or first of its kind systems. Unless you are doing this, you will not be able to supply to the world. You will be able to supply to the world only when your product is really state-of-the-art product and advanced technology-based system, and also having a price-wise, you are very low. This is how it is. So you need to continuously work. If an R&D organization like DRDO has to work on this, then if the base level everything is taken care of by the industry, and you are able to supply many systems, you are able to develop your systems, and then you are able to give. Suppose tomorrow I want to make 5.5 generation aircraft or later generation aircraft. If I'm able to get many of the avionics and everything from the industry who are able to develop and give it to that class of a system what is required, the Aeronautical Development Agency can concentrate on primarily the design of the aircraft and the integration of this and some of the control laws and other things, and then we'll be able to come out with these systems faster. This is one of the things. In fact, what I'm trying to say here is not just maturing from build to print to build to specification. The industry should be able to come out in some of the areas where you are able to come up to the stage of BTR, build to requirements. If the requirements are given, then you capture the specifications and then you are able to develop. This is one of the important things. Now, when we do this, and as you're seeing, as I said, whether it's Akash, or we are talking about LCA or other missiles like Astra and other things, or the radars and all that today, as the systems are maturing, the orders within the country start coming up in a big way. So today, friends, all of you should be knowing very clearly, many of you know, we have actually matured in many technologies. And I say definitely that we have become self-reliant in many areas in the country today, whether it is in the missiles, or in the radars, or sonars, or torpedoes, or electronic warfare systems, or AVAC systems, or talking about today guns, or even armored vehicles, and communication systems, and things like that. We have definitely become very mature, and we are confident, and we are very self-reliant in these areas. It is only that we have to keep on developing more and more and advanced systems here, that we are not lagging behind anyway, and whereas we are going ahead. So if we have to work on all these areas, we need to see that the industry is supported very well. For that, the government has come out with many things which has supported the industry, which is supporting the industry in a big way. I'm primarily talking about defense. The many processes have been simplified. The licensing schemes have been very simplified. Then the schemes of make one, make two, and all that have been brought in to make sure that industry is able to come up, industry is able to develop, and industry will be getting the orders continuously. This is one thing. Then there are schemes like IDEX, which have come, which are supporting the innovations in the country. In fact, let me tell you here, one important thing which we need to know is, earlier, the younger generation, the youth, were generally not entering into this type of areas. They've been concentrating primarily on the ICT, information communication technology areas. Whereas today, in the last 5 years, when you see, there are lots of youth which has gone into defense industry also. There are many startups which have come in the area of defense related areas. And so it is our duty to encourage them. And that's how many schemes are coming out. Similarly, government, to ensure that many of the systems are developed within the country, it has come out with import embargo on 101 items. They have to be developed completely in the country. The capability is good, and so you should develop. You should not import them at all from outside. This is one of the important decisions which government has given. And also, support to the industry has been also given in a big way to see that industry is able to come out and industry gets many of these products here. That's how that step of a particular value, up to a particular value, you should not be importing at all, unless otherwise the country doesn't have the complete any capability at all, and the infrastructure or production capability is not there. So those items have to be developed here. You can't go and buy from outside. An embargo has been again put in by the government. These are some of the steps what have been taken out from the government. Coming to DRDO, DRDO also has parallelly come out with many steps to support the industries in a big way. Like one thing, first is the test facilities have been made open. All the test facilities can be utilized by the industry for their testings and whatnot and all that. Up to critical testing level also, it can be utilized by the private industry, and many steps have been taken. This is one thing. Second is the patents have been made open, and any Indian industry can utilize all the patents which actually DRDO has got. All those patents can be used by the industry. This is one more step. There have been actually only industry should develop these items. DRDO need not develop. Industry has the capability to develop these. Such items have been identified, and there have been a negative list created for DRDO, which is called self-imposed negative list of 108 items. These items DRDO will not be developing. It is only industry which will be developing. And this number will be continuously increasing as the capabilities are increasing. More and more items will be coming. This is another important thing. Then also, if industry wants to develop something and they start and they have some capability, but they need some assistance from DRDO, they need help from DRDO, and that also mechanism has been worked out where industry can take DRDO's help and work on those things. This is another important thing which has been brought out. Then there is a scheme called Technology Development Funding, which has been brought in to indigenize many of the parts of the systems and subsystems and LRAs which we are importing today. Those systems to develop here indigenously, that is one thing. Or some of the new R&D related products which need to be developed, they all have been put in the website of DRDO. which are available, industry should come out saying that I have the capability to develop. After screening and all that, every industry can be funded up to about 10 crore rupees. This is another important thing which has been coming in, and we have simplified the processes. And last year itself, about more than 20-25 industries with various products have been identified, and the funding is going on. This is another thing which has been worked out, which is working out in a big way, and this scheme will be expanded also. Even youngsters, to support youngsters and youth, there is this award scheme which has been brought out called Dare to Dream, which actually promotes innovations and ideas from youngsters. And then you screen them, and then best things can be awarded. And if the ideas are very good, that can be converted into technology development funding, and then where they can be promoted also through that, and they can come out with the actual prototype and products of it, and which can be utilized also. These are some of the things. One major step what is taken is all the projects which have been taken in DRDO, which are actually mission mode and major product driven systems, should have a industry partner right at the beginning of the project, which is called development cum production partner, DCP. And every project they will join, they will be there part of it, and they will learn simultaneously, and then they also become the production partners. This is one important thing where every project will have industry, both industry and also DRDO will be benefited in this in a big way, synergizing the energies and complementing each other. This is one thing. Second thing, the time is also reduced because parallelly you are learning, and there is no gap between development to production. This is another thing. This has also actually yielded another very good thing, which we have actually simplified in the new defense acquisition policy, wherein because this is all integrated now, the trials and number of trials which are required and various phases have also come down, and the trials which are required for the user to induct have also cut down, and the time for that have been brought down drastically. And first time you can see even the industries, even the private industries have been called for to produce systems like missiles also. They've already actually, tenders have been floated out to join as a DCPP in the missiles area also. So all the areas will be opened up where industries can work together with the DRDO and develop many of the systems, join as DCPPs, and try to see that these systems will be produced by the industry in a big way. These are all many steps which are being taken up. And you also know that there are defense corridors, both Tamil Nadu and also Uttar Pradesh are coming up. And DRDO has signed MOUs with both the corridors to give technical support to these industries. And DRDO will be establishing its own centers in both the corridors, and to be physically present there along with some scientists and along with some infrastructure to support the industries technically in all these areas. This is another important thing which has also been brought in and put it into the defense corridor to support the industries in a big way. In fact, I am requesting you also think in these lines, what else can be done? What else we should know to promote the industry to come up in a big way, to develop the systems and produce the systems. If this country has to develop advanced systems, cutting edge technology systems, we need to work, all of us, together in the country, all the stakeholders, and playing the necessary roles. If an organization like DRDO has to develop the cutting edge technology systems, and industry should be able to develop the today's technology. And for this country to become completely self-reliant, we need to identify what are the technology gaps, what are the real infrastructure gaps, and together we need to see how we can fill these technology gaps and these infrastructure gaps. Both are very important, the technology gap and the infrastructure related gap also. Because some of the technologies we may not be able to achieve in this country because there is infrastructure gap, and we should be able to produce, fill these gaps also. And in fact, I want to tell where large infrastructure is there, and then we are not having huge production orders, and that type of infrastructure cannot be established by the industry. We are trying to go more and more into the GOCO models, government-owned and company-operated models, and try to see that industry again works there. And DRDO doesn't do these things. In fact, I have been giving one statement earlier and now also, that what industry can do, DRDO will not do. This is one of the important things. See, this is the type of models wherein we have to work together and see that we are able to come out with, one is advanced technology product, and we are also able to produce at a low cost with high quality and these things. This is one of the important things I want to mention. Industry, it has to be part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and if we have to sell our product all over the world, we should be named, we should be remembered that the product which comes from India is a quality product. The quality system should be built in. Quality system should exist in each and every industry. This is another very important thing. Friends, I want to tell you one thing. We need to export in a big way. No industry can survive with only just orders from our own armed forces. That cannot continue forever. Ever means every product should have a lifetime or a production time, which probably is about 10 years or 15 years. Unless there is some long-term plan for any industry, that industry is very difficult to sustain. For this to happen, we need to export the products. Then the orders should come in a big way. This is one of the very important things. So we all should be able to concentrate a little more on the marketing strategies of the product. And we should see that how we are able to produce them with lower cost. The government has taken many steps in this direction. You must have seen that the cabinet has given approvals for Akash to be exported to many countries. Similarly, in other areas also, a lot of such support measures have been taken. The process for exporting a system also has been very simplified. And clearances which need to be given by the various departments also have been brought under one umbrella, and that clearance is also being given very simplified. So these are all some of the measures which have been taken up by the government to support the exports also in a big way. And in fact, they have started increasing a lot these exports from our country to many countries today. Lots of inquiries are coming from various countries for our systems. As I said, because we have established ourselves in many other things. One thing I want to tell you here, friends, we have conquered with our IT technology. Our youth got lots of jobs. Now today, there is artificial intelligence is one which is coming into the things. Every system which is coming from us should have artificial intelligence built into the system. This is one thing. So we all have to have an artificial intelligence group, whether it is an R&D organization or an industry which is trying to develop a system also. We need to put it and we need to incorporate. Then only the system becomes a real intelligent system and becomes the state-of-the-art system. This is one thing. This is one area where we need to concentrate and lots of jobs can be created. Similarly, cyber is another area. Cyberspace is one of the important areas which we need to concentrate, which we need to look into it, which is required for the defense and security of the country also in a big way. Lots of industries have to come, lots of startups have to come in this area. This is another important area what we need to concentrate. Likewise, when I say there are many areas which we are thinking, we are talking about, they're all more connected to the R&D, whether it is a quantum, I talk about terahertz or high power electromagnets or high power lasers and many other related things also we need to concentrate and come out with the solutions that we actually, the academia, R&D organizations and some places with the industry, we should be able to work on this and come out with many of the state-of-the-art solutions is one of the important areas. Actually, when we talk about this, in so much of industry coming up and so much of products we need to develop and so much of production we need to have and we should export, we also need to have skill sets. Human resources is another important thing. This also we should work out. The DRDO labs on its part They are supporting in a big way. There are going to be 500 PhD students who are going to work in DRDO laboratories on 500 problems here. There are going to be internship given to both BTech and MTech students in labs in a big way. Apprenticeship, paid apprenticeship are also being taken in a big way to support this. And in the universities and colleges, also number of projects being given to the universities and centers of excellence, where lots of people as research associates can join. And many of the people can also work in the projects as project engineers and then go to the industry later is another scheme what has been contemplated. So there are many ways. And in fact, actually DRDO has started training people, certified training in the area of artificial intelligence and cyberspace, which actually the first batch of students have already got trained in that, and with international level standard training, wherein people will be able to get certificates also and work in this area is another important thing. And in fact, many labs have been opened, and the Prime Minister has actually instructed DRDO to create laboratories where people are filled completely with youngsters in that laboratories, including the director of the laboratory. And they're all working in these advanced technologies, trying to develop many advanced technology products is also another important measures which have come out with in supporting the industries. So these are all various skill set related things, and then support measures which are being taken up. So in fact, actually what I say is R&D by all, whether it is academia, whether it is R&D organizations, or MSMEs, or large scale industries, or startups, or even entrepreneurs is one thing which we need to, everyone need to innovate, everyone need to come out with ideas, everyone need to come out with some designs is one of the things which actually makes the country really come out with every day new products and new systems. As I said, when I have listed out these areas which we have become self-reliant, we need to become self-reliant in all the areas. That's one way actually makes complete Atmanirbhar Bharat in particularly I'm talking about defense sector. And that is where we need to learn many advanced technologies and come out with many more products. And industry, I request, also you can think of something where industry can fund it, R&D can be jointly done. Industry funded R&D. Industry thinks that this should be done, and DRDO, that industry can actually develop together. This is another mode of operation which actually industry should explore also in a big way. So these are all the various things, schemes which are thinking. Industry has a major role in making the country Atmanirbhar and self-reliant. And I'm sure that with all these things, we should be able to come out in the next 5 to 10 years. Definitely the indigenous content should go to 80% plus in the armed forces. And we should be able to export in a big way. Rather, we should become one of the largest exporters of defense systems equipment from this country. This is what is aim with which all of us should work. Let us, all of us flourish and make the country Atmanirbhar and make the country prosperous. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and all the best to all of you. One question is, how do you think that the defense business in India is growing, and prospectors, and then quality of knowledge and all that? Lots of things are happening. One thing is, as I said, defense business is increasing in the country as number of more and more and indigenous systems are coming into the picture now today. Whether you are talking about the LCA or talking about varieties of radars, varieties of missiles or torpedoes, or complete sonar systems which are being inducted today, or talking about tanks like Arjun and all that. And so the business, indigenous systems business is increasing day by day. Like when we see in a DAC today, almost about 80% of the approvals which are being given are defense related, are indigenous systems which are coming up. And this is one of the clear indications that the business is increasing in a big way. And I'm able to see that day to day, the export business of the industry is also going up. And the knowledge base, when you are coming up, there are many industries have opened, many institutions in the country have opened up many defense related courses. And we have also taken steps now to increase this. One thing is with AICTE, we have already discussed, we have already worked out, defense courses will be introduced in all the colleges in the country. And all the retired scientists of DRDO will be actually they have already been identified in the classes of the people who will teach what also has been identified, and they will be teaching this in these engineering colleges and institutions. And there are tie-ups with some of the colleges and institutions, like we have tie-up with IIT RAM, we have tie-up with Gujarat University and some other universities, wherein defense courses in they are introduced as part of as MTech courses and master's courses and things like that. And they, again, as I said, there is an institution called IDST, which is mostly by the defense scientists forum, who are retired people, and they are actually taking up these courses, and they'll be training them. And as I said, other knowledge base also being increased with lots of academic institutes and interactions and all that, which are coming up in a big way. And as I said, today, there are about 295 institutes in the country are working on defense related problems and research related problems where the problems are given. So this is one of the things. There is another question which is given: what is the current status of Directed Energy Weapon System designed and developed by DRDO? You all know that the Directed Energy Weapon System has been developed by DRDO. It has been incorporated in the last Republic Day, last August 15th also, and even now also it is, the system is fully ready and the system is being demonstrated, and many of the security agencies are going to have this system in a big way in the country. There is a lot of electric propulsion systems being developed all over the world. Should India also focus on this? Both private and public sector, even academia also should focus. A good question. Electric propulsion is one of the important things which country should focus. There are already people working in the country. There are a couple of startups which have come up in this area who have actually come out with the products also. And I'm sure that this area is one which will be coming up in a big way, and we are also trying to support in a big way, and definitely we should concentrate on this system, leaving aside the commercial aspects like completely electric buses and things like that, which are coming into the picture also. The roadmap of defense production is one of the question. This is actually what is that I gave a talk in the last 40-45 minutes. The defense production by all, whether it is DPSUs or the private industry and even startups and MSMEs and all that. It's only that where large infrastructure and critical infrastructure is required, those industries, probably primarily DPSUs, will be taking up, and in the supply chain of tier 2 and tier 3, the industries will remain. All other systems, every industry should be able to produce in the country. As I said, the industry should have definitely R&D in the niche areas. This is another important thing what we can Atmanirbhar Bharat, we appreciate the ideas and how actually it takes as an actual output and how does it really come into the picture. This is what exactly I was telling you. This is not just Atmanirbhar Bharat, the words and then themes being propagated. They're actually practically trying to be implemented, trying to promote the industry in a big way. The government has taken steps, serious steps. As I said, import embargoes, 101 items. Then we are talking about items should not be bought from outside a particular value, 200 crores. They all should be made in the country. And then promoting the industry, DRDO putting embargo on itself, negative list of 108 for DRDO saying that industry should do. promoting the industry in various ways, whatever the schemes I have talked about. These are all the actions which have been taken. Defense corridors coming up, and production values, production orders for the indigenous systems. This all actually promoting, saying that we should be able to make everything in the country. That is Atmanirbhar Bharat is not just telling the things, it is practically trying to be implemented in a big way. Initiatives taken by DRDO for promoting exports. Like Antrix Corporation for Space, is DRDO thinking about an exclusive business-focused agency for international business department? Does DRDO take any measures to prevent reverse engineering of exported defense equipment? So first question is that DRDO is supporting all the industries which are producing the items to export. The necessary technical support is being given in every possible way, and even to participate in the discussions with the international organizations who are going to import these systems from India. DRDO will participate and try to promote. And in fact, DRDO is regularly conducting meetings with various defense attaches from various countries who are present here and try to give them all the items which can be exported. There is an export compendium which is made and circulated to them. And this has been given to all the Indian embassies abroad, and they will be also trying to market these products there, which actually Indian industries will be producing. DRDO only supports from back end because DRDO doesn't produce anything. So these are all the measures. And of course, in the promotion of the export and policies and getting the clearances, DRDO is playing a very important role in these aspects. That is one of the things. Second is when we are designing the system, we are trying to see that the system will not be able to, by somebody, reverse engineer it. There are a lot of criticalities are brought into that system, and necessary security measures have been put into that system, and ensure that it is not happening, a reverse engineering can be taken. Attack aircrafts versus drones. This is one good question. See, first of all, drones have gained a lot of importance. They are being used for many purposes. Firstly, for surveillance purposes, and some of the LIC related operations, and into some conflict areas also drone has come into picture. So this is one important development. Lots of activities are happening. A lot of research is happening in the country also. But at the same time, aircrafts have their own role. So this not that one replaces other. So they have both each important role to be played by fighter aircraft has got its own role, its speed, its altitude and delivery capability, and then all other features it has got, the weapons it can carry. It has got its own importance, the penetration role and all that. Drones have their own role. So we need to concentrate on both the areas and try to see that we are able to develop both the systems simultaneously. What will be the role of quantum computing and AI in future defense industry? As I just mentioned sometime, every system as a system which is going to come out in the defense area will be AI based product. This is one thing for sure. Take it. If we are not able to incorporate that, we will be lagging behind. Similarly, the quantum technologies play a major role. Just take the example of quantum communication, which makes our communication a secure communication. That itself is a very important thing for the defense. Then all others, whether we're talking about a quantum radar, or quantum computing, or talking about quantum sensors, various other sensors, quantum navigation and all that, they play major roles in defense. So many of the upcoming technologies are playing a major role in the defense. We need to concentrate on that, both academic institutes and R&D organizations, and the industry should be able to come up and take on these technologies is a very important thing. And I think we are coming to the end of this session. And anything you have questions, you have suggestions, please write it to our industry interface directorate, which is available in the DRDO headquarters. That is what is called DIITM, DI square TM. DIITM@hqr.drdo.in is the mail ID what you have, or if anything at my level you need to send, please, you can send it. sekidrdo@gov.in. And otherwise, we can interact anytime also. You can send mails, send ideas, and send any problems what you have also. We are there. We all have to work together, and then only we'll be able to achieve real Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.